Today we'll be talking about subconscious terms by Vanessa, me and only. We'll be going a little bit more into sexist language. So, the definition of sexist language are terms that exclude one sex from another, such as women and men. A sexist language overall makes women feel more inferior towards men, and it also shows a gender bias as we only focus on men and not women, as we exclude them in a way and make them feel like they're invisible. The next point I'll be talking a little bit more into will be the word guys and how it's a little bit more problematic. So the reason the word guys is problematic is because it erases female as a whole. It as well is not a gender inclusive term that we use. As well, when after we use the word guys, we usually refer it to men. But when we use the word guys, we refer it to a group of people, which could be women or men. We have now normalized the word guys, and we use it with even a group of girls, which we shouldn't be. The reason is because girls aren't guys, and we shouldn't be using the term towards a woman. As well, that's not the only reason the word guys is problematic. The other reason is because it does enforce a patriarchal society that is we live in already, as we support these ideologies that hinder women and uplift men. The next point I want to go into will be a picture about a man making a joke and a woman saying how it connects to sexual violence. An example I could use to explain this a bit more is if you see two guys in a store and he tells his friend, "Hey, I hit this last night," and he shows a picture of this girl. A woman who's walking towards or past them can't take offense to this term. The reason she could take offense is because his actions or the way he's talking to his buddy. Yes, it seems like a joke at first, but everything has a ripple effect. So if he tells his friend that joke, his friend will be like, oh, okay, that's hella funny, and that means I could do it too because it's okay. And so when he goes a little bit further than his friend did, the next friend who sees him do that, he's gonna go a little bit further, and then the next person goes further and further and further. And that's when it happens, when there's sexual violence, abuse, objectifying women. Yes, they weren't talking about the woman at all, but again, she can't take offense because later on it can happen to another woman or another of her friends. So a woman always has to be keeping an eye out, because yes, it could be a joke, but in reality we never know everybody's true intention, so anything could happen at the end of the day. The next thing I want to go a bit more into is the things that we never really realized. So the things I want to talk about is how many words we say a day. So women say around 20,000 words a day. Men say around 7,000 words a day. And throughout our day, many of us say sexist or discriminating terms, such as cuss words like the B word. We use the word guys, the W word, which means whore. But most of these terms, but most of the terms that we thought could never be sexist are sexist, and that is when we realize that we subconsciously do or say things without even realizing it. As in, when I found out that the word guys was sexist, I never actually would have thought that, because I would have thought the word guys it was a general neutral term that could be used for anybody, but I was mistaken. That's why many of us have to watch just what we say. When many people believe subconscious terms, people don't really understand what that means. But how I see it is that, well, this is what my brother always tells me, is that I talk out of my butt a lot, and that is what subconscious terms mean, is that you say things without thinking about it, and that is when it comes out as sexist or discriminating or offensive. The other thing I want to go a bit into is it differs by age. And what I mean is it differs by age is that the word guy, if you use the word guy towards the youth, they won't take it as offensive because me as the youth, we have normalized these terms to kind of make them into this slang type of thing where we try to build ourselves like this safe space or this new language that we have. But when we use the term guys towards older people, they do get offended, and the reason is because back then we used to not use these terms. We used to use sir, madam, miss, and etc. We used to use a lot more manners. But nowadays, that of this, we wanna be more modernized. That's when we start using words as like the B word, and we go up to our friends and we're like, hey bitch, and we're like, how you doing? And every youth, not every but many, will be using these terms, and the reason is because it's just slang. Like, that's our language now, and it's so hard to break that cycle. And I feel like that's where like feminism and sexism comes in, is because these sexist terms, like all these like bad referring words to women as like bitch, whore, cunt, slut, we use them everywhere. We use them in TV, we use them in music, we use them talking to our friends, we use them texting, we use them every day. And they become so as a norm that we feel like they're not even bad. But we have to realize that the more we use these terms, the more we support this patriarchal society, as we give men the more power than women do. That's why we have to realize that using the word guys is not correct. The other thing I want to go a little bit more into is the terms that we should be using. So instead of using guys, dudes, y'all, we should be using like chairperson, police officers, sir, madam. Instead of saying freshman, we should use a first year student, because we use the word men in there, which say that only men could be that men could only be freshmen, but in reality anybody can. So that's why we try to use a more gender neutral term as first year students. I did a little survey on the word guys. I went around like my restaurant and asking people about how they feel about the word guys, and many people, young people, feel like it's a general neutral term that is used every day. That people, when I told people this, many of them are like, oh, I never actually thought of it in that way. As well, another one I asked was like, do you use the word guys every day? And most of them be like, and most weren't sure. But then they started realizing that oh, I do use the word terms, and many people are not aware of them. I asked, can the word guys be a sexist term? Many said it can be, and they understand if people take offense to it, but to them personally, it's a gender neutral term. Overall, what people were telling me is that the word guys, after I asked them the question, the next few days I had many people come to me and tell me, you made me realize I use the word guys everywhere. Like, I don't even know what to call a group of girls now. Like, I don't know if to call them guys or ladies. Like, it feels so weird to call them ladies. And I understood that because we are so used to using these terms that there's such a norm that trying to break the cycle is going to be so hard, just like this sexist world. to break this, we just have to be more aware of our surroundings and be sure that we watch what it is we say, because we could offend anybody, and any joke can lead to something big. We have to see and make action soon for us to stop this patriarchal society from getting any worse. We have to start realizing that using these terms exclude women and erase them as a whole. And if this women want to be seen as powerful, we have to show them that the word guys, we have to tell them that we're not guys, we're women and we're ladies, and we are as valuable as the word guys. And that would be the ending of my presentation. Thank you.